200 off-road race, the second in this year's national series. The first one, of course, was the Tarkastad 400, and the event will be held in and around the Umbabaan area. Leading in the 200cc class championship is Andrew Ogden. Leading in the 250cc class, Daryl Curtis, who can't make it to this one with some shoulder injuries incurred at another event. Sean Gunther leads in the quad class. The open senior class is being led at the moment by Garth Houting and Clayton Enslin, the 250cc class leader, going into this round. All the top teams are here for today's event and heading down towards that start line for this all-important national off-road racing event. 500 kilometers ahead of these riders through the forests in Swaziland and on the open roads. Dust could be a problem, but it has rained overnight. Alfie Cox gets his hands bandaged up. He's got to hang on to those handlebars for 500 Ks. Quad class also well contested for today. Well represented by the Bombardiers and the Yamahas. A straight fight between those two manufacturers.
Are we going to go today?
Pretty damn sure we are. And the man on pole position for today's event, Brian Kappa, on the gas after yesterday's time trial. So they'll all be chasing Brian Kappa for 500 Ks. And let's hold thumbs for him because it's his first time on pole.
Yeah, I think it's about time. You know, I've been putting a lot of time in, and it's a new step. You know, it's a new thing to be in front of all these guys, but I'm ready for it. It's going to be good.
How do you think this rain factor is going to play today?
I think it's going to be a big factor. It's definitely going to change the terrain a lot. I think it's going to be a lot more slippery, and you know, it's good because there's no heat, so that's a good thing. But it's definitely going to be very slippery.
Oh, it's going to be a long day. I see it's pulling open. They said it's pulled open on the other side of the mountain. So it's better though if it rains, because now at the moment it's just the mud becomes very tacky and sticky. So you're going to see there's going to be about a handful of 10 guys or so. So if that works for us, we're going to ride together, end up spraying each other with mud all day. So it's going to be more of a tactical day. So we'll just see how today brings us.
Just a matter of being smooth out there and picking good lines and just trying to stay on the bike. I think coming to the finish without making any mistakes will make me a winner.
The terrain was very nice for the quads yesterday, so but today's a different story. It rained last night. I'm happy to be the first quad off, but it's a long day and keep the quad in one piece and we should be there at the end.
And this rain obviously going to suit you guys on the quads?
Lovely, lovely. I mean, the two-wheelers are going to circle a bit more than yesterday through the forest, but for us it's good news.
Well, the year didn't start so well for me. I had a crash before Tarkastad, so still got a good position there, so I'm very happy with that. Today, yeah, I'm just going to take it easy. The fitness is not there, so yeah, I'm very chuffed with the starting position. Don't know how that happened, but yeah, we'll take it easy today.
Yeah, you know, Swaziland's always very slippery in the forests, and to come with a big horsepower bike here is not an advantage. And you know, this year there's only one champion at the end of the year. It doesn't matter what class you're in, you only score points for overall, so you can choose whatever bike you want to ride. And I've opted to come with a 250 because I believe it's a better bike for this type of a race. Obviously the other ones I'll get back on the 380, but I'm a bit disappointed with my time trial. I mean, I think I'm 13th on the grid, and but luckily it rained last night, and that's going to help a lot because the dust is a major factor always in our racing, and now that it's wet, the forests are going to be slippery as hell, and you know, I hope I'll be able to catch the guys up. It's going to be a good race today, that's for sure.
Time for 500 Ks of racing. Alfie Cox says dust could be a problem later on in the day, so Brian Kappa on bike number 631 will be happy that he starts off first for this race. The first of the quads there. Boesman Struvik gets a handshake from his team manager, and Peter Luck, the clerk of the course, drops the flag. Away goes Kappa on the gas. Easy mark trail to start off with, then he's got to wind his way through the forest and find his way through those forests, but right away it's a dirt road. Next away it's Rian van Niekerk on a 200cc bike, followed by Elmer Simmons. Then a 125 gets away. That is bike number 4, Bernard Johnson on a Yamaha. Next away Clayton Enslin on the 250cc KTM, and it looks like he's got a Ramco Suzuki on his tail. That's Gary Barton riding in the 125cc class. Back down on the start line, number 255 gets away. That is Brandon Else on a Ramco Suzuki for this year. Good to see Ramco and Suzuki so heavily involved in the off-road racing. Jacques Struve gets away, the first of those Bombardier quads. Wow, there's a big dice about to happen. That is Grey Dick chasing hard on that 426 Yamaha. That is Cornel de Villiers, last year's champion on L1. Down at the start line, Clayton Duplessis has stalled that Bombardier, so he's not happy with his start. Lost a couple of precious seconds there on that L7 Bombardier, the Desert Storm. So it's Bombardier's first, second and third from the start. Now we have got Elmer Simmons on 251, leading overall and in the 250cc class. What has happened to Brian Capper, our early starter? Here he comes, Brian Capper on the 300cc gas, leading the open class and second overall. Clayton Eston's made up a bit of ground. He's on a 250cc machine for this time. Remember, last time round he rode with 380. That's Rian van Niekerk leading the 200cc class. Alfie Cox comes through, bike number 500, but it is in fact a 250cc machine for today's event. Spencer Creel on Yamaha for this year, right behind Alfie Cox. Good ride from Spencer. Deep muddy sections, and the more bikes that go through it, the worse it gets. Bernard Johnson keeps the power on with that 125. Not the ideal off-road machine, let me tell you that. Over the main road, Elmer Simmons winds it up, a bit of dust behind him. We're getting some dust now on the trail. It's going to make it hard for Brian Capper on that gas, because he won't be able to see where he's going as they head up towards that forest section. Gas sounding tremendous. Clayton Enslin on the pipe. Rian van Niekerk right behind him on 17. They're closing up at the front of the field. Don't forget the leading rider has to find his way through the trail and follow those orange markers. Alfie Cox goes through the checkpoint. They sign his sticker on the crash helmet, then down over the main road. The Swazi police are holding the traffic back. Alfie gets the power down and happy that he's on a 250 machine this time around. Alfie's bike not sounding quite right. Somehow Grey Dick goes through the mud. He's made up a lot of ground after that time trial and a bad start. Brandon Els finds his way through the mud with that Remco Suzuki. That's the way to do it. Stand up on those pegs and keep the throttle wide open. Wayne Farmer, the first of the Kawasaki's. By my calculation, he's fourth in the 250 class and sixth overall. This is Lawrence Mahoney in the 200cc class on his gas. Ooh, sideways there. Another gas comes through the mud, and that is Colin Stoffels on a 250cc bike. Big bump there, catching those riders out. It looks like 304. Lance Trethuri from Zululand, and behind him it's number 10, and that is Grant Wheeler on a KTM, followed closely by Jeffrey Wallater in the 250cc class. That's Danny Heenan also on a KTM, and right behind him Quinton Moulton. Through goes the Remco Suzuki of Michael Barton on bike number 527, right up there with the leaders. Good to see that. Hilton Smith goes through in the 125cc class with that Suzuki. And this is Carl LaRue with the Millimore KTM. Big old four-stroke hanging in there. Here comes one of the quads through the muddy section. We believe that Dali Blanche is leading the quad class with his Yamaha Raptor at the moment. He's up in the forest somewhere, we believe. And this is Graham McLaughlin with the gas. I think he's still suffering from concussion after the Tarkestad 400. And that is Jacques Struvig on the Bombardier heading down towards the refuel point. Elmer Simmons, the first man out of the refuel and back out onto the trail. He's leading overall now with that 250cc KTM. Whoa, and right behind him, Clayton Eston's made up a lot of time. I wonder what has happened to Brian Capper. He's missing on the trail. In comes Rian van Niekerk leading the 200cc class on bike number 17.
How's it going, Rian? You right? What's wrong with me? No problem, eh? Banana. No. Yeah, breathe my brake. Don't use my fuel, man. Your brakes. Better watch it, man.
Well, Daryl Curtis, who's not taking part in this event with that shoulder injury, is unbiased, riding for Shimwell's Yamaha, but there he is helping his mate. Rian van Niekerk then heads out, and in comes Grey Dick. He's made an awful amount of time with that Shimwell's Yamaha, the 426 four-stroke machine, coming into its own in the forest section.
Go. So, what is fun, though?
Oh, Alfie Cox looks like he's got a problem. Perhaps a crank seal or a water pump seal has gone on that bike.
Just take the water. I want to fill up so you can't go on. It's pinging like hell. And they just used all the water out.
Bad news indeed for Alfie Cox as Grey Dick takes that jump onto that road. Dick is on a mission with a 426. Alfie is nursing this baby home, let me tell you that. Things have certainly warmed up because Spencer Creel has undone his jacket just to get some extra fresh air with that Yamaha as he comes in for his refuel. In comes Bernard Johnson, and he's lying about 5th overall on that 125cc Yamaha, and of course leading that class. Checkpoints for the quad riders, and they have to get their helmets signed by those officials before they carry on to the next spot. I wonder when these quad riders are going to give us proper clear numbers so we can read and see who they are, because we don't know who the hell that is. Heading down towards the finish, Elmo Simmons has got Grey Dick right on his tail. Dick has made up minutes on the trail. Quite incredible stuff. He is absolutely flying along. He's only seconds now behind Elmo Simmons. Simmons gets that KTM siders as he uses the berm down that road. Clever riding from him. Grey Dick just simply follows his line. Dust, dust, and more dust. We believe Brian Kappa has actually crashed in the dust, and that's why he's no longer with us. That is Clayton Eston, 3rd overall and 2nd in the 250 class. Good points for him. Just a few Ks now to the finish of the Swazi 500. Simmons slows down through that little muddy section. Keep it running, no water in the works now. Great ride from Elmer Simmons, and he was a bit disappointed after the Tarkastad 400, but he's more than making up for it right now. Where's Dick? Because Clayton Enston has come through in 2nd place overall. Grey Dick has gone a missing out on the trail. Here he is, Grey Dick. Slowly through the mud. Grey is going much slower than normal. Look down at the back wheel. It looks like he's got a puncture. In fact, Grey's got a moose problem. That moose has collapsed. They run mooses in those back tires, and it has collapsed. Oh, he is nursing it home. What cruel luck indeed for Grey Dick. The finish line, Elmo Simmons does a fine wheelie for us, and the overall victor for the Swazi 500. Celebrations indeed. Grey Dick, the open class winner from Michael Barton. In the senior class, Don Thompson from Garth Houting. Elmo Simmons wins the 250s from Clayton Enston. Jacques Struvig, the quad winner from Johan Steenkamp, them on Bombardiers. Rian van Niekerk, the 200cc class winner from Lawrence Mahoney on the Gas. Bernard Johnson winning the 125 class.